Hello there, my name's Neil David and I'm the host of Eurograps Express, the podcast exclusively dedicated to the wrestling of Europe. If it's wrestling and it happens in Europe and it's good, we talk about it. Whether it's RevPro, Progress, WXW, Passion Pro, Pro Wrestling Chaos, Pro Wrestling North, we don't care, we talk about them all. If it's good and it's exciting, I want to share it with you. We're on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Check us out on the feed. Check us out on Twitter at EuroGrapsEXP. And join us for chat about European wrestling and a little bit of chat about cheese. Hopefully see you there.
Cheering at pro wrestling shows in Japan is back, and 2023 is already shaping up to be a big year in the history of pro res. That's why you should listen to the Emerald Flow Show. From the Royal Road to the Green Mat, Paul and Gerard take you into the world of All Japan Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Noah. Not only do we analyze events, but we examine business, who is getting over, what angles are working or not. Occasionally, we take a look at other Japanese promotions like DDT and 01. So if you're looking for more coverage of the world of Japanese wrestling, check out the Emerald Flow Show on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network, available on all of your favorite podcast apps.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Here we go! Kiss me like a love song. So I'm coming. Whoa, whoa, give me a kata omoi. Namida no shitsure Give me fire, give me that what I desire.
You're listening to the Emerald Flow Show on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.
Welcome to episode 38 of the Emerald Flow Show. We're a podcast on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. You can follow us on Twitter at Emerald Flow Show. And if you're feeling generous, you can donate to us at voicesofwrestling.com/donate. We're available on all of your favorite podcasting apps. And if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. I'm Gerard DeTroyo here with Paul Vosh. Paul, something very big happened just after we finished recording our last episode.
Yeah, it's we did all of that long song and dance about what are they gonna do with Ashino now? What are their plans? And then essentially right after the episode's released, it comes out Ashino's injured.
We got around, we recorded a podcast the day after the carnival, only for that episode to be mostly out of date.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly.
I think it was pretty much to the date, a year ago, when we actually released the episode, where Nosawa got fired while I was editing the episode, or quote unquote fired after we edited the episode, and literally made the title Nosawa was still the booker when we recorded this. This feels like very close to that.
Yeah, although remember when Muto suffered that injury and we recorded an emergency thing we tacked on the end?
Oh yeah. Actually,
and we were right about that because he ended up announcing his retirement.
Yeah, no, we were exactly right on that, because it's his hip's fucked. No, he can continue.
So I mean, everyone's already talked about it, but do you have any thoughts about this?
I mean, it is about the worst case scenario of what could have happened, really. So, I mean, the one thing I'm wondering about, like, because like the obvious narrative now is like this was his chance, and like now his time has passed, and we were kind of like talking about that as well. But like, if he were to lose against Nagata, he's never going to win the Triple Crown. But I also feel like because it is an injury, like to me, that kind of changes the narrative, doesn't it?
It
Like,
does.
like I think he's still like I think it's not out of the question that he wins the Triple Crown in January at the New Year's show.
That's certainly possible.
But yeah,
Does
I don't
that
know. Like,
mean?
do you think that's likely? Because I think it's possible now.
I think it's possible. I think we could also assume the worst because this guy's had 2 injuries in the last 6 months
Yeah, yeah.
in
That is
tournaments.
obviously the other thing. That is obviously the other issue here, where they might just not trust him anymore after this.
And I'm still relatively convinced that like Ashino and Honda were winning that tag league.
Yeah, I mean that's also very possible. Although I could actually see Suwama and Ansai win that one.
No, I mean the last Real World Tag League.
Oh, the last River Tactic. Oh, okay, okay. I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about like they're gonna do it this year. But yeah, no. I mean that is like too big, and then it actually makes more sense that he gets built up for like a title challenge. But yeah, I don't know. It's I think they have a story here where like he gets injured like twice, and then they're just like, okay, it's now it's actually now or never, and they just kind of go for it and hope he doesn't
Yeah.
get injured.
If he doesn't win it when he comes back, I just don't see him ever winning it.
Oh yeah, no, no, no. Like that like now it like that is an actual like now or never situation now. If he comes back and they just kind of slot him back in where he's been in like the past 2 years, then that's where he's going to stay until they like downcycle him even more, or he leaves or retires or whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very unfortunate. Once again, All Japan just hit by horrible timing on
Yeah.
something like that. Although, I mean, well, we'll get into it. It's like it sucks, but also like it's not as glaring a hole in the company as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of weird, like what they did to like determine the replacement challenger.
Yes.
But I mean, we were talking about the fact that like it is his like now or never situation because there's so many people coming up right behind him. So
Yep.
and none of those like I think like as cynical as that sounds, I think it would have been worse. Like the fact that Ashino got injured, like it's bad, but it would have been worse. Like let's say if like Yuma Aoyagi had suffered that same injury, or if like Yuma Anzai had suffered that same injury, or even Honda.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I know that sounds very cynical, but he is who he is. Like he's never going to be like a top guy in this promotion. This was just like basically a thing of like they're finally gonna do something with him. They're finally like using this guy that is really good. Like he is who he is at this point, but you can still kind of like make him essentially like because I think I was talking about that last show. Like really, the point of this title reign would have been to like establish him as like a guy that is a essentially a like thing to overcome for the young guys.
Yeah, for sure. It makes him a main eventer, even if
Yeah,
he's not the tippy top guy.
yeah, exactly. Because like for example, like Yuma Anzai needs people that he needs to overcome because he's already beaten people like Suwama, so they can't be that.
Hmm. Yeah, for
So yeah,
sure.
it's unfortunate, but you know, like yeah, it's just yeah, it's frustrating because like I said, had kind of given up on him, and then he actually like drags
Yeah.
me back, kicking and screaming, wins the carnival, and then he gets injured.
Oh yeah, we were like speculating that he was gonna leave.
Yeah, yeah. And then he immediately on like the next day he beats him up.
Yeah. So it is what it is, unfortunately. But
Yeah,
hopefully he come. I mean, I've seen anywhere from like 3 to 6 months. So
yeah. I mean, it
hopefully sooner
depends.
rather.
Like, 'cause I think like he can kind of like wrestle in a cast, but like I don't know if they want to risk that.
No, not with his track record.
No, like I think like I said, if they actually want to do the whole thing where like he comes back from injury and then wins the title, might actually make
Hmm.
sense to just like let him heal, bring him back, and like December, and then build him up for the New Year's show.
Yeah. So with that, we will continue on with the recent All Japan shows. We start with the Superpower Series 2023 on May 13th at Wolfart Toyama in front of 439 fans. Paul, you didn't watch this show?
No, I forgot about it.
No.
I looked at the
Okay,
run sheet
so
and I was like, oh, I forgot about this one.
I mean, like I'll just point out the stuff. Like first match, Hikaru Sato and Dan Tamura defeated Toyoma, Black Mensa Ray, and Rising Hayato in 9 minutes and 39 seconds with a Dan lock from Tamura on Mensa Ray. This was again one of the good, solid like All Japan Junior openers that they've been going with, and Mensa Ray, you know, wrestled seriously and everything like that, even though he was like sort of naming himself after the city, which he does whenever he's in Toyama, sort of thing. And then we had Jun Saito defeated Ryo Inoue in 6 minutes and 40 seconds with a Psycho Break, which is his Cobra Clutch Slam. I mean, you know, this is good. I thought. I mean, not surprisingly, Inoue was like playing like the underdog, but he unleashed like lots of big kicks, and Inoue is really over with that crowd. And then we had like the PWF World Junior title skirmish. Naruki Doi and Hokuto Omori went to a 15-minute draw with Yuma Aoyagi and Atsuki Aoyagi. This was pretty good, very good for a 15-minute draw. And then we had Ryuki Honda and Masao Hanabata defeat Yoshitatsu.
Real quick for the match before that, did they do like some stuff to like build up the title match? I mean,
yeah, they did. I mean, it was like Aoyagi and Doi like wrestling each other and doing that sort of thing. And then so Ryuki Honda and Masao Hanabata defeated Yoshitatsu and Yuma Anzai in 11 minutes and 41 seconds with the final vent from Honda on Anzai. I mean, this was perfectly good match. Nothing to write home about. Still probably one of the weaker matches on the card, but I didn't mean that in a bad way. And then we had Congo versus Voodoo Murders, the hottest feud in wrestling. Manabu Soya defeated Rei Saito in 8 minutes and 28.5 seconds with a Dondo. I like this. I've been saying Rei has been great. And I mean, obviously there wasn't much to this match, but it was like an energetic, like in terms of like the complexity of the match. But it was, you know, energetic, two large men running into each other. And that's where like Rei Saito excels the best. And then in the Jumbo Tsuruta Memorial Triple Crown Skirmish Premium 6-man tag team match, Yuji Nagata, Kento Miyahara, and Shuji Ishikawa defeated Suwama, Takao Omori, and Satoshi Kojima in 16 minutes and 26 seconds with a backdrop hold from Nagata on Omori. I mean, this was a good match, pretty solid. I don't think you necessarily have to like go out of your way to see it, but it had a lot of heat from the crowd. And strangely enough, Nagata was in the Jumbo role. He came out to Jumbo's Rolling Dreamer theme, the one with the lyrics, and he was wearing a Jumbo t-shirt and everything like that. So he strangely got the spotlight, but I wonder if it's because he's the one with like the most, well, no, Suwama had, well, I think Nagata had like a more successful amateur career than Suwama did, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would assume it's because he's the Triple Crown champion.
Yeah, I guess so, but for whatever reason, Nagata was like Jumbo's avatar in this match.
Yeah.
Which I was didn't expect, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, because he is the outsider and everything.
And Suwama is more like stylistically a Jumbo.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it is kind of weird to like, make the New Japan guy the like.
But to me, like the connection's got to be the amateur background. I don't know,
so.
like.
But I definitely think of Suwama having like a amateur background more than I do Nagata. I know that they both do, but Suwama talks about it more, basically.
Yeah. And so that was that show. I think it was solid, but I don't think it's like drop everything and go out and watch the show. Next up, the next day on May 14th, Superpower Series in Kisei Culture Hall, Middle Hall, in front of 619 fans. Ryo Inoue defeated Black Mensa Ray in 6 minutes and 51 seconds with a horizontal cradle. This was a lot of fun. Inoue was over, and Mensa Ray, you know, it's like, you can still wrestle.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he's happy just being a comedy jobber, but you know, I mean, this was actually a pretty good match.
I mean, look, it's given him stable employment for like years now. Like,
yeah, he's been there like a decade at least.
Yeah, it's been a decade at this point. And like before that, he was just a guy that was just bouncing around the indies, really. So,
yeah.
Like I think he's happy doing that, and it's probably like helped like preserve his body as well. So. And then, like I said, like we saw here, when he wants to, he can turn it on.
Yeah. Next up, Takao Omori defeated Masao Hanabata in 6 minutes and 48 seconds with the Axe Bomber. Not much to this match other than Hanabata making faces at Omori.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a solid like 6 minute Omori match. I mean, they're both. I mean, Omori I still is solid even though he moves slowly, and I think Hanabata is underrated. But I mean, again, not much to it.
No.
Evolution
It
versus
was the weirdest match on the card though, because it's like why is this here as a singles match?
yeah. Next up, Evolution versus New Japan. Satoshi Kojima defeated Dan Tamura in 12 minutes and 26 seconds with a lariat. This was good. I really like this. And Dan got a lot of offense.
Yeah, I agree because I think early on it was like a lot of like Kojima dominating, but then like Dan like worked his way back into the match and Kojima actually gave him a lot. Like Dan got some really good near falls on Kojima.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of turned out how I expected. I expected obviously Kojima was going to dominate, but Dan was going to show some of his power, and so I thought it delivered in that.
What I'm actually curious because that was like the first time I ever thought about it, really, was like I actually like standing him like across from Kojima, he didn't really look too out of place. So I was actually wondering, like, if he puts on maybe like a little bit more mass, is there a chance for him to go heavyweight?
Yes, although Kojima's smaller than you think,
Yeah.
height-wise, but I think it's possible. But yeah, he would have to add a little more mass,
Yeah,
and
like
he's
I
not
think
even that small
no.
of a guy. His frame isn't even that small to begin with.
Yeah. No, but I think like if he goes like more like an Ishii route essentially, like, I think that could work.
Yes, I think so too. Next up, Suwama, Jun Saito, and Rei Saito defeated Shuji Shikawa, Yoshitatsu, and Yuma Anzai in 9 minutes and 24 seconds with a backdrop suplex from Suwama on Yoshitatsu. I mean, it was a relatively inoffensive match by Voodoo Murder standards,
Hmm.
which is the most you can ask for these days, I think.
Yeah. No, I mean they really didn't like. I actually struggle to think. I assume they probably did some cheating in there, but I can't
There
really
was a weapon
remember.
shot towards the end on Yoshitatsu.
Ah, okay, yeah. But that was about it. Yeah, as I said, like by the standards of Voodoo Murderers, that's like really quite normal. And yeah, but otherwise it was just a pretty unremarkable match.
Ryuki Honda defeated Hokuto Omori in 8 minutes and 40 seconds with the final vent. I thought this was pretty good. They sort of botched the finish, but it sort of made sense because they were telling the story of like Omori kept escaping from the final vent. And then, Honda sort of dropped Omori, but then went right back to it. So I didn't think it detracted it from it too much, but I thought this was very solid.
Yeah. No, I actually kind of like the chemistry that these two have with each other.
Yeah, they
I
do.
also thought that Omori actually got like quite a bit of good offense on Honda as well.
Yeah, but I think he should be.
Yeah, no, he should be, but it's also like it was very clear that Honda was going to win because they wanted to build him up for the match with T-Hawk.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, no, but like I feel like they have like very complementary styles as well because Honda's obviously like the big power guy, and then Omori was like trying to be a bit more technical to like get around that basically to like overcome the power advantage. And I thought that like it made for like it wasn't like an amazing match, but I thought it made like a really I think there's potential here for them to like develop like a decent little rivalry going forward.
Yeah, they should give them like 15 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Next up, Yuji Nagata and Hikaru Sato defeated Kento Miyahara and Rising Hayato in 11 minutes and 7 seconds with a backdrop hold from Nagata on Hayato. I thought this was very good. I forgot this match was even on the card type thing going into it, but it did deliver like you thought it would, like
Hmm.
anyone would think it would when you read those names.
Yeah. But I was curious about like, do you feel like they were trying to like sow some seeds here for Miyahara versus Nagata?
I did. And we'll get to that in a minute. Um, but I think that's the direction they're going now.
Yeah, that's what I feel like as well because in the post match they basically had Kento kind of like force the music guy to start playing his music despite the fact that he was on a losing team, which is
Yeah,
also the most Kento Miyahara move possible as well.
absolutely.
So I was
And
like,
then
yeah, interesting.
in the main event, Yuma Aoyagi defeated Atsuki Aoyagi in 17 minutes and 34 seconds with the Fool. You have to, if you haven't seen this match, you have to watch it. I dare say it was a smidge below, like it didn't reach like a match of the year candidate level, but I went like 4.25 on it. It was awesome. Just a great closing stretch with a bunch of near falls, even though like there's no way that Atsuki was gonna win, but they wrestled it like a big epic match, like who's gonna win type thing.
Yeah. No, I like this one as well. Like I didn't quite like it that much. I think I just barely got to 4 stars for me. Because yeah, as you said, like to me it was kind of hurt by the fact that it was clear that Atsuki wasn't gonna win this. But what I really liked about like how physical it was, I think it really was like another one. And I don't remember who said that, where it's basically like if it's family members or really close friends, you're always able to like lay it in more because you know they're not gonna like take it personally. And I felt like this feels like that even more, where like Yuma was just like really just beating the absolute shit out of Atsuki here. Like he just really just laid into him, and then Atsuki had like all of these like great comeback spots, and he really made that crowd like believe as well that he had an actual chance of winning as well. So I thought,
Yeah, and I mean,
yeah,
this is in their hometown, so it had a lot of heat
yes,
too, which was great.
yeah. Like I assume there was
Friend
like
of
a
the
lot of like friends and family and everything in the audience.
friend of the show, Alan Foral, in the VOW Discord said this might be one of the best brother versus brother matches ever. I mean, how many really are there, and how many are good?
Yeah,
I
trying to
think he's
think.
got a point.
Yeah, because I can't even remember any like Jeff. I mean, you have like stuff like the final deletion, I guess, if you want to count that.
I guess you could count it.
Trying to think of like other brother versus brother matches. Did the Sawyers ever have the Sawyers? I don't think I actually remember any like memorable things from the Sawyers having matches with each
Hmm.
other. The Saitos haven't really had matches with each other.
Nope.
I mean, Bret Hart versus Owen Hart, obviously.
Well, yeah, that's yeah. I mean, that would be the top, I think.
Yeah,
But if you made
and
like a top 10 list, you could put it probably like at like 9 or 10 or something.
yeah. No, I think that's fair. Yeah.
Um, so that was that show, and then we move on to May 18th at Shinkiba. First ring in front of. They were late to release the attendance, but it was 275 fans. First on the show, Jun Saito and Rei Saito defeated Hikaru Saito and Dan Tamura in 9 minutes and 15 seconds with the Psycho break from Jun on Tamura. And I thought this was good, but I will also say that I think this is further proof that the Saitos are improving because this was much better than the first match that these two teams had. I want to say sometime in late 2022 or maybe early 2023. It was sort of disappointing. And so to me, like them, like I've said, the Saitos are best when they're running into other big guys, which is sort of somewhat surprising. I mean, that's always fun, but it's also fun watching large men throw around much smaller men. And they're getting better at that, I think,
Yeah.
in here. And I thought this was very solid.
I'm really curious how their match in Great is gonna go because they're gonna challenge for the tag titles there.
Yep.
So I'm
Paul,
probably gonna watch that one.
I am too. Paul, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities they win
Oh yeah, no, I think it's very possible, and
because it's
because
great and they
Great
have no
Great has
respect for their champions.
no, and also Great
And
has gotten a lot from All Japan recently.
well, yes, but also, I mean, uh, Hayato Tamura and Czech Shimatani have made like 6 defenses of that
Yeah, they've
G
held that
Infinity
belt
Tag Team
forever
title.
now at this point.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Actually, they're gonna check on that.
the Saitos make good transitional champs,
Hmm?
and I think this is a good test run for them as tag team champions
Yeah, like they've
that
held
they could
those belts
use.
for 263 days now.
Yeah. And well, also, Paul, I think that the Saitos are above the All Asia tag titles at this point.
Yeah, because that was my thing. Like when I was like, oh, when they're gonna come back, they're gonna like
If they
go on a
put,
really
if
long
they had
run
put,
with that title. But now they're like above that. Yeah,
if they had put the All Asia tag team titles on them as soon as they got back, that would have been fine.
yeah,
But now they're above it. So I think instead of an All Asia tag team title run, a G Infinity tag team title run would be a good set of titles for them to get a test run before, because as All Japan World Tag Team Champions, you're expected to carry more than tag team champions in other companies
hmm,
most of the time. Like you're a main eventer
yeah.
on shows and stuff like that.
And as
So
much as I'm like the they've gotten like a lot better as well. Like, do you actually want to put him in there with Onita, who just got out of surgery, basically?
Yeah.
Like that still doesn't feel like the smartest idea, really. So
Onita can't take any of their offense.
yeah, exactly. Like, what are the Cytos gonna do?
Or just brawl with them and choke them with like shit
Yeah,
and hit them
no,
with like chairs.
no, but I actually think like the match they're gonna have with like Bulk Orchestra, like regardless of the like finish for that one, I think that actually has the potential to be like a really good match because they're just gonna toss these guys around.
Well, they can, like Hayato can go up toe to toe with them, but they can toss Shimatani around.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like remember when they did that at the joint show with Great, but Shimatani was just like basically just getting thrown from like corner to corner constantly in that match.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can have some. Well, I'm just trying to think like who it's probably going to be like Ryuichi Kawakami and like Quiet Storm challenging them or something
Yeah.
next, or another like bulk. Yeah, because that would be like another bulk orchestra team that could challenge them. So there's people that you could put them in there against, and I think that that's their sort of good place for them, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And then next up, we have All Japan versus Black Generation International. Kotaro Suzuki defeated Black Mensa Ray in 5 minutes and 15 seconds with the Tiger Driver. I mean, it was good, but it was more of like a Suzuki squash. So I really felt like Mensa Ray didn't really get to show off his wrestling skills, even though I think he could absolutely have like a good match with like a 10-minute good match with like Suzuki here.
No, but this was purely basically to like. I actually could see, and then again, Suzuki had just challenged Atsuki, but yeah, I mean, this was really just like a squash match, like to. Yeah, I don't really know why, because I would think maybe to like line up Suzuki for like a title shot down the line, but maybe it was also just again one of these things. Like I said, both promotions trading favors, and then like, hey, the fighters are gonna win the titles, so like
Yeah.
Suzuki gets to squash Mansory or whatever.
Well, I don't even think Suzuki is a contracted great guy.
No, because he's also indeed he's in Burning as well. Like they
Yeah.
actually could have said that this is All Japan versus Burning, but that would open a whole other like set of issues. So I think it's better to go with Black Generation International here.
Yeah. And then next up, a match I'm very excited to talk about. Evolution's crossover with Colors. Hikari Shimizu, Rina Emakura, and Yuko Sakurai defeated Saki, Zones, and Chi-Chi in 11 minutes and 33 seconds with the Dojimi Dragon Sleeper from Sakurai on Chi-Chi. Well, this is the first time I've seen a full match, because they posted like clips on YouTube of the other Evolutions shows. This is the first time seeing Zones and Chi-Chi in a full match. And I should add, this is their only third match that they've had in their careers. So, keep that in mind. I think, obviously both are green in a lot of ways. I think Zones is a better worker. Chi-Chi has a ton of charisma, but they are clearly very competently trained because, Suwama and Ishikawa and all that are going to be able to do that. So, it was a simple layout Joshi 6-woman tag style and everything like that, mostly all action. And so I thought they acquitted themselves well here. And I think that they both have a lot of potential. And and Zone's lariat from the top rope is awesome.
Yes. No, I thought both of them looked solid, as you said. I think there's definitely something here. Still obviously green. I mean, as I said, this is like the third match, so like you can't be expecting like super amazing stuff. But as I said, they acquitted themselves well, and I think they definitely showed enough potential to see that that it's something they can build on.
Yeah, well, like I think Chi-Chi clearly has the charisma, but I think Zones is a better worker. There were a couple of moments where Chi-Chi looked a little lost.
Yeah.
And some of her like kicks didn't look like they really laid in very much or anything like that. But I don't think it's nothing like, oh, this, it's like third match green type stuff.
I mean, again, like wouldn't be the first person that looks kind of shit in her third match and then turns into like an amazing worker. Like need I remind you of Okada's return from Excursion? Because
well, yeah,
if you watch that and then just just you go into a coma right after, and then you wake up 10 years later, and you're told that this guy is actually one of the best wrestlers in history. Like, you would be very confused.
Yeah. Next up, Just Tap Out versus Gungnir of Anarchy. Ren Ayabe defeated Masao Hanabata in 6 minutes and 20 seconds with a modified backbreaker, like submission. That sort of looked kind of cool. I know. I mean, they have Ayabe is like the king of JTO now, and everything like that with the title. Although I still think he looks a little exposed in singles matches.
Yeah, he still looks a bit rough around the edges. Like, I think he's, to me, is like a guy that, like I said, he probably should like look into moving on from GTO, because that's also a promotion that you can actually move on from, because a lot more people do it. So, because I think he would actually, like I said, he fits him pretty well in All Japan. So I think
Yeah.
I think he would really benefit from like even like going a little bit back, taking a bit of a step back, and maybe like going a bit more into their dojo as well would actually like I think working with like Ishikawa and Tsuwama could really help him like figure out how to like actually make use of his size, because I think that's something he still struggles with a little.
Yes, I agree, and he definitely looks better in tags. In singles,
Yeah.
he's more exposed.
Yeah.
And then the World Junior or the PWF World Junior title skirmish, Naruki Doi and Hokuto Omori defeated Atsuki Aoyagi and Rising Hayato in 10 minutes and 50 seconds with the Bakatari sliding kick from Doi on Aoyagi. Again, solid action, good build up to the junior title matches coming up on the 29th. I mean, what do you expect from these four? And I think this gives the finish away on the title match.
Yeah. But I think that was obvious from the moment he challenged him, because I think Doi had a really good title reign, but it was always gonna end with like Atsuki getting the belt back.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's probably gonna like escape, the muscle bomb and then just go for the finish from there. If I have to take a prediction how that match is gonna go,
That makes
because he's
sense.
not kicking out of it. Like that's the other thing. Like he's not gonna kick out of it. I mean maybe because Doi is probably winding down a little bit, but that's still like the equivalent of kicking out of a burning hammer, basically.
Yep. Do you want to see Doi shuffled out for another like junior outsider, or do you think you want to keep seeing him in All Japan?
I'm perfectly fine with keeping. I love Naruki Doi, so I keep him around. Like you don't need to put him at he is someone that you can just kind of keep around if he wants to stick around. I think all of the like as a juniors in the division, like they're still pretty young, so they can learn a ton of stuff from someone like Doi. And he's also someone that you can just basically instantly push back into being a challenger. Like you literally just have to have him win like a single match, and he's the credible challenger again, because he's Teflon at this point. So he just has like unlimited credibility with the crowd.
Yeah. And then we had Yuma Anzai defeated Ryo Inoue in 8 minutes and 17 seconds with the German suplex hold. I mean, this is your top two students. I mean, I know Anzai gets a lot of the attention deservedly so, but Inoue is prodigy a too strong a word? Because he's really good for being like just under 18 months into his career.
Yeah, I think he's definitely helping himself by looking like Kawada.
Yes.
But I mean, also wrestling like Kawada definitely helps, because, well, I mean, Kawada's awesome. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I, yeah, I think there is something there with Inoue. Like I said, the one thing I'm kind of like is a bit of a size issue, like,
Right.
because I think he is probably a junior.
Yes.
But yeah, but I think these two have definitely like these two to me have like good chemistry that I would actually wish that they could like face off and like proper like matches with actual stakes as well. But I don't know if we will ever get that, because Inoue is most likely going to be a junior, and Anzai is obviously a heavyweight. So who knows? But you'll never know. But I definitely think there is something there with Inoue, and
Absolutely.
it also feels like obviously they're not fast tracking him as much as they're fast tracking Anzai, but it also feels like he's already kind of on the cusp of moving out of the young boy stage as well, which is pretty quickly.
He's further along than like Tamara, Dan, and Hokuto were like 18 months in.
Yes, absolutely. He's further along than Atsuki was 18 months in.
Yeah.
Because Atsuki was good. Atsuki was actually actively bad for like the first year of his career.
Yeah.
And
so I think Inoue could challenge Atsuki on this next title reign.
I don't think that's out of the question. I wouldn't say that he will like that it will be like a. It's probably it probably will be if they do it. It will probably be a title challenge on like a B show or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. But I think it's definitely not out of the question. And then, like I said, he will. If he sticks around and if he does get it and everything, I would very much. I wouldn't be surprised if he is like junior champion within 2 years, which would be very fast.
Yeah, for sure. Because it was like 3.5 years it took for Atsuki to win that title.
Yeah, and Dan still hasn't.
Yeah.
And neither has Hayato.
And Hokuto got a. They won those All Asia tag titles in what, January 2022?
Yeah, and he had the 6-man tag title reign as well.
Oh yeah, well.
Look, it counts.
I guess. So yeah, I mean, it was a good match, and like, I mean, just showing you the potential where the future of that company could be.
Yeah.
And then World Tag Team Title skirmish: Congo versus Voodoo Murders. Manabu Soya defeated Suwama in 6 minutes and 50 seconds by DQ. It was obvious. It was a Suwama singles match in Shinkiba. It always ends in a DQ.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
No. Yeah.
Next up.
I don't know.
Oh. Yeah. Do you have any other comments?
No, I'm trying to see if I can come up with anything, but I mean, maybe one thing like Manabu Soya is like we're actually Noah is going to do a historic thing, and they're going to be joint winners of the N1. Because both Manabu Soya and Keno are going to jointly win the N1 because Soya also got body bagged.
Yeah.
And then poor Manabu Soya when they were like, because the Saitos were like, we're not we're picking up Keno, sure, that we can do. We're not picking up Soya. And then poor Soya had to like keep his head above the ground so that he doesn't get his like head, that he doesn't get head trauma from getting dragged along the ramp in Shinkiba.
Yeah, that's funny. They could both. I mean, the two Saitos should be able to pick up Soya.
Yeah, they should be, but they were just like, it's Shinkiba, we're not gonna bother. Like that's the energy I got from that. Because it wasn't even that both of them pulled him, it was just, I think it was June was the only one that pulled him, and Ray was just like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with this. Actually, while we're on the topic of trash bags, I think we just briefly need to talk about the absolutely amazing promo that Keno cut inside a trash bag.
Yes.
So on the Keno channel, like Keno has a YouTube channel. For those that don't know, I think it's well worth to like subscribe to it. Like even if you don't speak Japanese, it's like Keno's like someone that's like very compelling to like listen to talk to, even if you don't understand what he's saying. And this was just absolute peak Keno, where he's standing on the side of a river in a completely covered in a black trash bag, just screaming completely out of his mind and just cutting promos on Suwama and how dare he put him in a trash bag. And then he pulls the like All Japan tag titles out of a trash bag and holds them up. While again, he's standing in a public space somewhere in Tokyo along a river, covered head to toe in a trash bag. It's absolute peak Keno. Like, can't get better than that.
No, I mean, we'll get to that more in a minute, but I think this feud is really good, even if the matches aren't.
No, yeah, but I mean, the feud is really good, and it's all due to Keno, basically.
Yeah. And then next up, Yuji Nagata, Kento Miyahara, and Satoshi Kojima defeated Shuji Ishikawa, Yuma Aoyagi, and Yoshitatsu in 15 minutes and 4 seconds when Kento used the shutdown German suplex hold on Yoshitatsu. Good match. And, I mean, a solid 6-man tag between these guys, as you would expect. But really, the best part of the match was when Kojima came out.
Yes.
Because they all came out to Kento's theme, his team. And Kojima came out first, got all the pops, was like, gesturing to the crowd like Kento with the hands in the air. And then Kento came out to steal all the chants and did not look happy.
No. I mean,
but
he
then they
attacked
shook
him
hands.
post-match.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I always loved that about, like I said, to me, Kento is like, he's the baby face, and he's like not the reverse, like okay, reverse thing is wrong because that would mean he turns on all of his tag partners. But he's like the Bizarro thing, where every tag partner he's ever had turns on him eventually, but it's always deserved. So this
Yes.
very much felt like that because Kojima got the chance when he came out, and then Kento was like, "What? Are this motherfucker's getting chance?" And then like in the post match, Kojima's getting chance again. So Kento just fucking attacks him from behind, gets on the turnbuckle, is just like, "No, no, no, he chant for me."
So great.
So
And
good.
then
I still don't get how he actually managed to make this work as a face. This is such a heel move.
yeah, but it does work. The crowd's not
Yeah.
turning on him,
No,
even though
because
he's
he's
such an
that
asshole.
charismatic. It
Yeah.
just makes that work.
And then main event number 1 contenders match for the Triple Crown. T-Hawk defeated Ryuki Honda in 13 minutes and 22 seconds with the Cerberus. Pretty good match, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised it only got 13:22 and everything like that. I didn't really think the finish was in doubt or anything, which you could say could take away from the match. But I mean, it was like some great chops from T-Hawk and then Honda's rough style and everything like that. So I mean, I think it was like a perfectly good main event for the show.
Also, you said the result was never in doubt for you, so you were always like T-Hawk was gonna win this?
I thought so.
Okay. Because I actually thought that there was actually a chance that Honda was gonna win it. And then I was like, maybe they're going really quickly with Honda. Maybe the Honda push goes even faster than we thought it would be. But I think it also makes sense to hold off on that a little bit more. But it is weird that we're gonna have a triple crown match between Yuji Nagata and T-Hawk, and neither of them is signed to All Japan.
Yeah, that's strange. They didn't have to do this.
No?
They could have just put Honda in that spot. They could have put Anzai in that spot. I think that would have been perfect.
Yeah.
I think that they were concerned about drawing in Korakuen.
Yeah, but I think I said this before. I think one of the reasons why they're drawing badly in Korakuen is because they kind of pissed off some of the hardcores with all of these like outsiders holding title wins. And so having a completely outsider Triple Crown match, I don't think is gonna help with that.
Nope. And also, what is Great doing, allowing their champion to do this?
Yeah. I don't know. It's very weird. I mean, it's great, so they're probably gonna be like, well, he gets beaten by Yuji Nagata, so it's fine. But like, I don't know. Unless he wins.
Yeah.
But I don't think he has
I
any
don't
chance of winning.
think so.
He's not a guy. He's like, I think he actually would have a better chance of winning if he wasn't the G-Rex champion. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
Because he's not a like double champion kind of guy where he's like the top champion of two promotions at the same time. Like he's not at that level to me.
I think the match will be good.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I might be a little bit worried about is like because we've seen in the past with Nagata when he had that match with Kento where it became clear that he wasn't able to keep up with Kento's speed. That T-Hawk might need to like slow down a bit to make it work with Nagata, but if he manages to do that, then I think they have a chance of having a good match.
Well, Nagata's delivered in every match for the Triple Crown. So I am relatively confident about that, even though he's 55 years old now.
But that's also like because the other person like kind of like worked with that. Like for example, Kento like realized after the last singles match that he had that like, okay, I need to like work this a bit differently, and that's why just the Triple Crown match was a lot better. And then the Ishikawa match, I mean, as we talked about, was like 25% just both men just lying on the ground panting, and then the other part of the match are just them just like doing absolutely insane spots.
It worked though.
It worked. Oh no, it absolutely does. But I'm just curious what because T-Hawk can't wrestle a normal T-Hawk style match. That won't.
No, that's.
I mean, he can chop him.
That's not going. Yep.
I think that's gonna work really well. Yeah, if he just chops him really hard, and that's kind of what they built this on. I think they can have a really good match.
Yep. So the card for the Korakuen Hall show on May 29th. This isn't in order, I don't think. Satoshi Kojima, Yoshitatsu, Rising Hayato, and Oji Shiba versus Toru Yano, Black Mensaure, Mitsuya Nagai, and Kotaro Suzuki. I don't know why they keep using Toru Yano, but anyway.
I don't know why they keep using Nagai.
I'd rather see Nagai than Toru Yano, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Special 6-man tag match. Hikaru Sato, Dan Tammer, and Ryo Inoue versus Yuto Nakashima, Ryohei Aoi, and Kosei Fujita. This will rock. I'm
this
pretty
is going to
confident.
work.
Now, does All Japan finally get a win here?
I could easily see that because Inoue is there, so he could take the fall for the All Japan side. But again, Dan just comes off of a title win, and Sato's like still kind of a push guy, so I would assume that they're gonna win.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the Young Lions have won all their other matches.
Yeah.
So I think they can take a loss, but at the same time, they could also
It is New Japan.
Yeah. Next up, Shuji Shikawa, Ren Ayabe, and Oscar Loibe versus Jun Saito, Kono, and Toshizo.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. This is certainly going to be a match. This is kind of random.
Yep. PWF World Junior Heavyweight Championship. Naruki Doi versus Atsuki Aoyagi. I'm expecting pretty great things.
I feel like I would say this has a better chance of being the best match of the show than the main event does.
That's actually possible, I think.
Because if this, I have a feeling this could actually be better. I think they're gonna outdo their first match, and I think it has a chance of being better than the Hayato title defense.
Oh, okay. You're going that high, eh? Well,
Yeah,
that Hayato title defense did get like over 20 minutes.
Yeah, true, and this is kind of right in like if this like what we have here is like the actual order of the matches. This is.
I'm not sure it is. I know. I don't think it is. I don't think it's the actual match order.
Okay. Yeah. Because I think it very much depends how much time they actually get. But I could actually see the the tag team title match not go very long.
Yes. They have not put the actual order out yet.
Okay. Because if this is the semi-main, then I think it will get time, and then I think it has a really good chance of being a top-level match.
Kento Miyahara and Yuma Aoyagi versus Minoru Suzuki and Hokuto Omori. I think it'll be good, but I think Kento and Yuma win.
Yes, this is very much a case of like, well, I wonder who's taking the fall in this one. It's very obvious. Very obvious Hokuto is taking the fall here. And then I think the next title challenger will either come out of this match, like whoever is like the person scoring the fall in this match, or it's coming out of the next match.
Okay, but the next challenger is going to be at Oda Ward.
Oh, is that actually? Oh, yeah, right. It has to be Oda Ward. Yeah, okay, so it's going to be whoever gets the fall in this match, and probably Kento.
Yeah, and then Yuma Anzai versus Ryuki Honda. Now I'm looking forward to this. I just don't know
who's going to win.
Yeah, because I can see both sides. You kind of want to keep Honda strong because he just lost, but like, they're teasing like, Honda beating Anzai before and like tags and everything like that, right? This could go either way, I think.
And I mean, this was the plan for the show before Ashino got injured.
That's why I'm actually sort of leaning Anzai.
Yeah, same.
I mean, you could build Honda back up.
No, yeah, I mean, Honda can be very easily like built back up, like because they actually gave him pretty strong push during the Champion Carnival to really like show people that like he's going to be a guy now. And I think they've also done a good enough job of like establishing that Anzai isn't just like other young boys, and losing to him actually is like it's fine, something you can easily recover from.
Definitely. And then next up, we've got for the World Tag Team Championship. Sorry, we're sort of spoiling what we're going to review later.
Yeah, that's the thing. Massive spoilers coming in like 30 minutes.
Keno and Manabusoya versus Suwama and Rei Saito.
Yep. This will be an angle.
You think? Are they going to have a match though?
Yeah, but I feel it's like 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
I hope Suwama... so, because I mean the thing is because it is going to turn into an angle, and I'd rather they keep the match short because like I mean it's obvious what's going to happen here.
Yeah, Suwama's been vowing to kick the Saitos out of Voodoo Murders if they don't listen to him.
Yeah, and then he's teaming with everyone except for Voodoo Murderers in June. So I really wonder what is going to happen here.
Now, who takes the fall?
So you're thinking either Suwama takes a fall and the Saitos use that as a reason to kick him out, or the Saitos, the array takes a fall, and then Suwama's like, oh, I'm gonna kick you out, and then all of the Voodoo Murderers turn on him instead.
Yeah, that's possible. Or like, doesn't Suwama need a bit of a humbling though?
Yeah. I mean, I could easily, like, I would assume that there's going to be like some sort of like miscommunication spot. Suwama gets like covered in powder and then eats like a DDT from Sawyer and gets pinned or something like that.
Yeah. Or even Keno pins him.
Oh, Keno pins. Oh yeah, actually Keno pins him, puts him in a trash bag.
But yeah, I mean, here's the thing though. We said, oh, Suwama's turning so many times, and it's never happened.
No, I'm steadfast on that. I said that when they announced the cards for June that he's turning, and I'm absolutely 100% sticking with that.
Is that your lock?
That is my absolute lock. I'm betting all of my accumulated lock standings on this one.
I mean, it feels like it, but I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it. But I think it's probably happening.
Yeah, because I don't think he's teaming with Anzai as a heel. That would just be very weird.
Mm-hmm.
But then the question becomes: so if Suwama actually leaves Voodoo Murderers, right?
Yeah.
And we still assume that means like Voodoo Murderers still kind of sticks around after that.
I don't know, but what are you going to have Kono team with the Saito?
So that's the thing. Who becomes the leader? Because I don't think there is anyone then in there that is like a leader type.
Taru.
Yeah, but you need like a singles leader essentially, like a guy that can be like a title challenger, like maybe not necessarily a title challenger, but like someone that's like the clear like in ring like leader, because that's always how like Japanese stables especially kind of work. And what I was wondering, because Suwama has been like tweeting at Satoshi Kojima, so think we'll see a return of Voodoo Murderer Satoshi Kojima.
Would they turn Kojima heel? Like is that can they get away with that? Well,
would that even work? That's the thing.
Not even would it work? Can they get away with it? Like,
I mean, all Japan and New Japan doesn't really seem to give a shit whether Kojima loses or not, or what the other promotions do with Kojima.
Yeah, they don't seem to. I'm convinced that there is no like you have to have this many title defenses with Nagata type thing either.
Yeah, no, they're very clear it was with Tiger Mask, but yeah.
They seem more interested in protecting the young lions than Kojima and Nagata.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, that's the smart thing, really.
Yeah.
Because like all New Japan got everything they wanted out of Kojima, so like now you can just offer him up to other promotions and then.
Yeah, and there's first of all, I don't think they need Kojima and Nagata at all for anything. Not especially we're going to Dominion and the G1.
Yeah, because neither of them.
So they're free all summer.
Like, yeah, exactly. So that actually makes me think maybe if Nagata was like actually defending the title here. Because we were like, oh, he's gonna drop it now, but like if he's just sticking around for the whole summer anyway, then maybe he is going to carry it for a bit longer.
Yeah, I mean that's possible. It depends who his next challenger is.
Yeah, I mean if it's Kento, then yeah, no. But like even if it's Aoyagi, then I also think he needs to drop it. So.
Yeah, I agree.
But then, I am curious, like if Voodoo, like my thing is more like if Voodoo Murder sticks around. I don't know. I think that would be interesting with Kojima as a heel.
I mean, he was in it before.
Yeah.
Probably an ill-advised turn at the time.
Yes, no, it definitely wasn't a good idea at the time, but I think now it kind of... I just don't know if you can get people to boo Kojima, but then again, he also hasn't been a heel in like... Well, when did he get kicked out of Kojima-gun? When, like...
2011, 2012?
Yeah. That was like the last time he was a heel, and even in Kojima-gun, it was like heelish. I don't think he was like a full heel. Like they definitely went more heel after Suzuki took it over. So I would be interested to see if like Kojima would, because it would be like something like different for him to do, and I'm like if he's game for that, then I'm sure All Japan would be like fine with doing it as well.
Yep, for sure. So we'll see. And then the main event. Yuji Nagata versus T-Hawk, which we've already talked about. So do you have any final thoughts on this match?
No, like I said, I think it has a chance to be good. It's like if T-Hawk manages to like adjust to Nagata, but yeah, I think it's very clear that this is going to be that Nagata is defending the belt here. I think that's like, I don't even know if I even want to give T-Hawk like a 5% chance of winning.
10.
10. Yeah, I mean, I think, let's say 90-10, yeah, because you never know. You never know what could happen, but it seems incredibly unlikely.
So the things I was thinking about, okay, so what if T-Hawk won? Who does he face in Oda Ward? Is he going to beat Kento again?
Yeah, exactly.
Is he going to face? I don't think he's going to face Suwama.
No,
Is he going to face Yuma and beat Yuma?
that would be terrible. But then it also feels like, but if he wins, then he immediately drops it at Oda War. That's also weird.
Yeah, no, that's dumb. Just why? There's no reason. If they'll let Nagata lose to T-Hawk, then they would have let Nagata lose to anyone in all Japan almost.
Yeah, basically. So
So
I feel like like Nagata defends it here, and then he drops it at Oda War to like Yuma or Kanto, probably Kanto.
yeah. So that's All Japan Pro Wrestling. And before we move on to pro wrestling, Noah, we just have a word from our sponsor. Today's podcast is brought to you by the Bet Stamp app, which is helping thousands of people win at sports betting for free. The same way that travelers use Google Flights or Expedia to find the best prices, bettors can now use the Bet Stamp app to do the same. When you place a bet, the odds given by a sportsbook will determine how much you can possibly win. Even when betting on the same outcome, different sportsbooks will offer varying payouts, and these differences can be huge. Thankfully, BetStamp allows you to easily line shop for the most profitable odds across all sportsbooks. You can click on any matchup and instantly see all of the different odds for game lines, player props, and even futures bets. Line shopping is the simplest way to find an edge in sports betting and maximize your chances of winning long term. On average, BetStamp users win an extra $1,000 yearly just by line shopping. You can find the BetStamp app on the Apple iOS Store, Google Play, or through your browser at www.betstamp, that's BETSTAMP.app. To access all of these benefits, sign up using the going to www.betstampapp.com/VOW, and then sign up using the promo code VOW and start your journey to successful sports betting today. If you forget to use the code upon sign up, you can always enter our code in your BetStamp app account settings afterwards. So check it out. And now we move on to Pro Wrestling Noah. We've got two shows here, and they were, I think, relatively eventful. Would you say, Paul?
Yeah, no, I thought both of them like they had some stuff on it at the very least.
Mm-hmm. And so we go to Star Navigation 2023 at Korakuen Hall in Tokyo in front of 935 fans on May 14th. I guess you got to say, is that good for Axis's return match?
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
sure
know.
because that's also literally all this show had really. With like the
Yes.
Axis return, that was really the only draw they had on there. I guess Ogawa versus Eita, but I would have liked them to hit at least 1,000. But again, no title match or anything else, and it is still significantly up from what they were drawing. Like it's still like 300 people more than they were drawing previously when they had like
Yes.
these Hurricanes that had like absolutely nothing on them. So I'm like
I
also
think
like, eh?
their Korakuens are sort of trending upwards a bit,
Yes, definitely.
but we'll see. So, first off, Extreme Tiger, Dragonbane, Alpha Wolf, and Super Crazy defeated Amaska, Junta Miyawaki, Alejandro, and Lancelot in 8 minutes and 21 seconds with the Wolf Driver from Alpha Wolf on Miyawaki. Paul, what's going on with Junta here?
It definitely doesn't feel like they want to like push him at all. Like it's like he just, like I said, it's so weird. Like he comes back in the new year, he has a great look. He does really well. Like I don't think he did bad. Like he did really well. He gets sent back to Mexico for like what felt like 2 weeks, but was like a month, 2 months maybe. And then he comes back with like a significantly less good look and is just completely just a complete non-entity. He gets a win in his first match back, and then I think he's like taking the pin in every single match afterwards. Like
Yeah, I
there's
don't know what's up.
something weird going on with the young guys in Noah. Like it really feels like something happened where like he like it doesn't seem like he got, I mean, it feels like he got punished, right? Like he didn't get suspended, like presumably Kenya Okada and Yasutaka Yano did. But it also
No.
feels like
Well, we don't know if
something
they're
going on.
suspended, Paul. We don't know if they're suspended because it's still
No.
no comment.
Exactly. Like we don't know if they got suspended, but it feels like they got suspended because
Yeah,
again they got
yeah.
pulled shortly before. So again, this is just an extremely weird situation. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just completely baffled by what is happening here, and it just feels like they lost all confidence in Miyawaki, and I don't know. I guess only time will tell if they're just like, yeah, we think this guy is trash, or if they're just, I don't know, slow rolling it. But again, that doesn't make sense because they like brought him back at the beginning of the year, immediately gave him a title match, made it clear that this guy's going to be someone, and then they're just doing this. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Match was a good little junior opener, you know.
Yeah.
Warm up the crowd and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was really the big thing.
Yeah.
It's like who took the pin and everything. Next up, Shuhei Taniguchi defeated Stallion Rogers in 7 minutes and 48 seconds with a half Nelson suplex. I like this. I just like Taniguchi beating up Rogers. It worked.
Yeah. Taniguchi just like tossed him around and then beat him. Like it almost felt like a squash as well.
Yeah, I mean, if they had plans for Stallion Rogers, they would have put him in like good-looking guys or something.
Yeah, that's actually what I felt like as well. But yeah, he just came back and he took the pin in his first match back, and then he like got beat by Taniguchi here as well. So just seems like they just want him as a body on the roster.
Yeah, I think that's his role. I mean, he seems to be sort of over though.
Yeah, that's why I think it's weird because again, all of the comments.
Well, I think that's why they bring him back, but they don't want to push him.
Yeah, I guess they just want him to like his fans can take his picture with him and like they can make money off of that. But yeah, as I said, doesn't feel like they want to push him at all.
Next up, Chris Ridgway and Daga defeated Hajime Ohara and Hiroki in 8 minutes and 41 seconds with a pile driver from Daga on Hiroki. I don't know. It was fine.
Yeah, it existed. I don't know. This was also...
Did you notice on commentary, because this show had English commentary, they mentioned that Daga had recently challenged Tyrus for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship?
God, he has. Jesus, like...
That was in Mexico.
Oh,
but it's it's just funny that they brought it up and put it over as a big match.
That also feels like Daga fed that to them. Like mentioned that it challenged Tyrus. It's like, yeah, sure, buddy.
Okay. And then Masa Kitamiya, Daiki Inaba, and Yoshiki Inamura defeated Saxon Huxley, Timothy Thatcher, and Hideki Suzuki in 11 minutes and 32 seconds with when Inamura used the Muso on Huxley, which got a big pop.
Mm-hmm.
And then it looks like Kitamura and Inamura are going to challenge for the Huxley and Thatcher. I thought this was a good little 6-man tag, actually, like all action type thing. Built up Inamura perfectly, and the crowd loves him.
Yeah, I was also like, oh my god, holy shit. Yoshiki Inamura get a pin on someone. I was like, that's not a thing that happens very often, unfortunately. But then they immediately got beat down to post-match. Like, no, it's just like, yes, we're gonna give you a pin, but can't allow you to get too hot, so you're gonna get a beatdown right after.
Mm-hmm. And next up, Naomichi Marufuji and Hayata defeated Sean Legacy and Dante Leon in 12 minutes and 34 seconds with an inside cradle from Hayata on Legacy. Come on, what was that?
Yeah.
I don't like that finish.
No. Like, because Legacy is also clearly, like, a heavyweight, right?
Legacy's pretty good, too. I really like Legacy and Marufuji's chemistry.
Yeah. I think Legacy is, like, if we're talking about, like, another guy to add to good-looking guys, like, I think Legacy is a perfect guy for that.
I think so, too. I think they have something with Legacy.
Yeah. So it's weird that, like, they're gonna dropping him out to Hayata, but I mean, it's whatever. Like, it's a random, like, tag match. Like, no one.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's just like the lamest stuff. Like, Leon like went outside of the ring and like grabbed the GHC Junior title and was like, "Ooh," and held it and was like, "Ooh," to like sort of like anger Hayata and everything like that. It's like the most basic, uninspiring feud.
I mean, yes. I mean, it's Dante Leon versus Hayata. Like, it's like literally like I actually struggle to like think of like a worse feud that you could do in the junior division. I guess maybe like O'Hara versus Hayata would be worse.
Yeah. And then next up, Yoshinari Ogawa versus Eita went to a no contest in 12 minutes and 41 seconds. When Hayata interfered and then turned on Stinger and joined up with Eita.
I mean, what is there left to say about this? Like, really?
I don't know, but it's actually pissing me off more than usual.
Yeah. I mean, what I will say about this, right? what this just to me is what they've actually managed to do is they managed to WCW this feud, and what I mean by that is that basically no one cares about the matches, and everyone just looks towards the entryway during the matches because they know someone's gonna come out and interfere.
Yeah. Well, and there was also interference all throughout this match.
Yes, that too. It was just non-stop.
Like
It was Eita against like all of Stinger basically.
Yeah. Look, I gotta admit something though. I sort of liked the match until the finish.
I mean, it wasn't bad. I think because Eita is actually a pretty good babyface.
Well, and it was Ogawa working over the leg and everything. I thought was fun.
Yeah. So, like, if this had just been a straight up match, I think this actually could have been really good. But yeah, they just need to do the WCW 2000 stuff basically here.
Yeah.
It's just such a waste of two really great workers.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, Kaito Kiyomiya, Takashi Sugiura, Atsushi Kotoge, and Seki Yoshioka defeated Jake Lee, Anthony Green, Yohei, and Tadasuke when Kotoge used the kill switch on Yohei in 18 minutes and 23 seconds. I thought this was pretty good. And then after the match, they set up Lee versus Sugiura, and I thought in this match, Lee and Sugiura had some pretty good chemistry. And Paul, I think Lee versus Sugiura could be the best match Lee has had in Noah so far.
I can see where you're going with that one, yeah. Because Sugiura is because he's not going to take any of Jake Lee's shit.
Exactly.
I mean, that's kind of how they played this here as well, where Jake was, because it wasn't Sugiura that challenged Lee, it was Lee that challenged Sugiura.
Yeah, right, and they were putting that over in commentary. No one came out after Lee's beat Marufuji and everything like that.
So Lee's just I'm going to pick my own challenger now, so he was I'm going to pick Sugiura, so... What I'm wondering about, do you think there's a thing that backfires for Jake Lee and then Sugiura beats him?
I don't think you can rule it out, but I just don't. To me, it's I don't know, maybe, but because I thought Go was going to beat Lee and that was a good story, but now Go is in Axes and I don't think it's going to be Kaito, so I really don't know
who's actually going to beat Jake Lee.
But I assume it's going to be the winner of the N1, right? That's got to make the most sense.
Yeah. Because I think as much as I would enjoy another Sugiura reign, I don't think Sugiura really has interest in being the top champion anymore. Because he's carried that company on his back for literal years.
It's been 14 years since his first title win.
Yeah.
Or it'll be 14 years this summer or fall or something. It was later in 2009 when Go tanked. The first time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I don't think a lot of people if you've only started watching Noah recently or you're a bit younger, and you only see this version of Go Shiozaki. Go Shiozaki's first title reign was really bad. That actually almost ended. I don't think it almost ended his career as a main eventer. It's actually surprising he recovered from that.
Well, yeah, because Sugiura won December 6, 2009.
Yeah.
Was
and then he went on. He's the absolute top guy for the GHC title as well.
His first reign was 581 days with 14 defenses, which beat the Kobashi record of 13.
Yeah.
And
he's held that belt for over 1,000 days. And if he doesn't hold that belt,
he has the most days combined days of 1,064.
He's the absolute
Do you know who's
guy.
number
and
two?
If he doesn't hold that belt in 2016, Noah probably goes under.
Do you know who the number two most combined days is?
Number two, probably has to be Go, right? Because
it is Go.
Yeah.
At 882.
With that last reign, he really shot up there.
Yeah, I mean he might end up beating Sugiura's combined days.
I mean he doesn't. He only needs a decently long one more title reign, right?
If he gets 200 days out of his next title reign, he beats him.
Yeah, it's just the question is if his body can hold up. That's more of I think he beats him if his body holds up.
Yeah, I think he's getting at least one more reign.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
No, I definitely think he's winning the title again. It's just the question, how long will he hold it?
Now here's a funny one for you. Jake Lee's held the title for 65 days. Mm-hmm. Who are the three people who have had shorter combined or title reigns? There's only three.
Well, Takayama, right?
Yep, 16 days.
How long was the Ogawa reign?
Longer.
Oh, the Ogawa reign was longer, okay.
153 days.
Okay.
Yoshinori Ogawa's hold the GHC title for more days than Keno has.
That tracks.
By 3 days.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, who else would have held the title shorter? Rikio?
Nope.
No?
Rikio had a 245-day run.
Oh, jeez, okay. That one felt really short. I don't know. Trying to think. Like, I assume it's going to be, but like, like the other two have also only held the belt for like one time, right?
Yep.
Okay. Kojima?
Yep. 34 days.
No, Muto had a longer reign. Trying to think, who's the last one? Did Taniguchi ever win that belt? I
Nope.
don't think it did, no. Because I was thinking who would be like another person that would have won that belt but would have lost it really quickly again.
Or did they ever lose it?
But did they ever lose it? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. It's Fujita.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Now,
yeah, because he held that
Lee
one.
is
like, yeah, really
Lee
short.
is closing in on Akira Taoi's 78-day reign.
Yeah, I mean, who is the real fourth pillar?
And then once he beats Taoi's, the next is Muto at 114 days, which I think he might beat.
Yeah, I think
if he beats Sugiura, he'll beat
if
that.
he holds it past the N1, like until the N1, I think. Yeah, I mean, yeah, easily in that case. Yeah, because the N1 doesn't end.
And he'll probably beat Eddie Edwards, who had 118.
Hmm?
Now Nagata's reign was 147 days, so he might come in around there.
Hmm?
So, because it's like Yuji Nagata 147 days, Keno 150, Yoshinari Ogawa 153, Kensuke Sasaki 2 reigns at a total of 1 reign at a total of 176 days, and then it jumps up to Rikio's reign, which was 245 days.
Okay,
so
and then
I don't
after
think
that we get to like actual like.
I don't think Jake is getting to Rikio, but I think he could. The other guys.
No. Because then he would have
Yeah.
to hold it until like the New Year show, and I don't think he's getting there.
Yeah, but he could those other ones.
Yeah. No, I think he's definitely getting Nagata. I think that one he should get to pretty. Because the N1, right? Like I think the N1 wraps up like early September.
September 3rd.
Yeah, but then they're not like. But that's just the final, and I think like generally like 2 weeks later they do the title challenge for the person.
Yeah, it'll be at least 2 weeks.
So he gets
if
to
not more.
He gets at the very least he gets to mid-September.
Yeah.
And we're only in May now, so like he gets like he gets the entire summer. That's like an additional 3 months. Like that's 90 days already there. Like that's already 150 days. Like he's already like past Nagata. And he also gets like half of September on top of that.
Yeah. So he'll probably finish just below Ogawa or just below Sasaki or at Sasaki.
Yeah, I think he's like just around by Sasaki. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's where Lee is etching his legend, I guess.
Does that put him in the top 10 of all-time JHC champions?
No. Rikio. So Sasaki is at 13, and then Kenta's number 10 right now at 343.
Okay, yeah, no, he's not getting there.
And then it's like Nakajima's 2 reigns have been 443. And then Marufuji is like 5.
Reign was like super long, yeah.
And then like Marufuji has 510. Kiyomiya's number 7 at 559.
Yeah.
And then Akiyama 589, Morishima 593, and then Misawa 710 and Kobashi 735.
And then Shiozaki. That he got that in just one reign.
Yeah.
And he's number 3 with 1 reign because it was a 700-day reign.
Yeah. So, yep, that's where Lee stands in the Hall of GHC champions.
Yeah, he'll get there. He'll get at the very least close to the top 10.
Mm-hmm. And so our main event, Keno and Manabu Soya defeated Axis, Go Shiozaki, and Katsuhiko Nakajima in 17 minutes and 5 seconds with the PFS on Keno versus Shiozaki. So I'm a couple of minds of this match. It was pretty good, but they didn't go all out. They're also telling the story that like Go is still like weak and his body is still not fully recovered and everything like that. I did like how Kongo targeted like Nakajima and wanted to kick the crap out of him too and everything like that. But I don't know, maybe shouldn't you sort of aim to have a more explosive match on the return? I don't even think the losing was the big issue.
No, yeah, I also thought this match was just kind of okay. And I also agree that the finish is fine because again, Kano and Sawyer was like Kano is a double tag champion right now, and they were gonna have like a tag title match on the very next show, so you don't want to like have him lose here. And
I don't have a problem with the Shiozaki is weak story. I just think you could have milked more out of this match.
I mean, I guess so, but then again, I also kind of get the logic where like you do the Shiozaki's weak story, and you kind of keep some stuff back for like a later match essentially.
Yeah.
Because now, like if like for example, let's say they actually bring back the Global Tag League, for example, I could easily see this be a final for that.
Yes, that would be a good final.
And like it's an established thing now where like Kano and Sawyer beat them on their like reunification match. So like now Axis has something they can build to where they can like win the Global Tag League, beat Kano and Sawyer doing so, and then like challenge for like the GHC heavyweight titles after that.
But if they're going to do a global tag league, then presumably it's going to be in like October or November.
That's the question, yeah.
And then so it's like if they do it this year, Go's not touching that, going anywhere near that GHC title till the new year.
No, but I'm not opposed to him like having a GHC title match at the January Budokan show.
Yeah, no, neither am I. I think that's also a good spot.
Well, I mean, I also have a very selfish reason for that.
Oh, right, you're going to be there.
Yeah. I will gladly take a Go Shiozaki title challenge live in person. I have no issues with that. No complaints.
But that was that show. I mean, Axis is still incredibly over, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And what I found interesting is that Nakajima shaved.
Yes, he got rid of his facial hair.
Yeah. Because it was while he was in Axis that he actually started growing out the facial hair. So that's why I was like, it's kind of weird that he actually shaved it now that he's back with Axis.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it though, because it is kind of freshening up his look, because he had that look. Like, it was a really good look, but I also get why he's like, I think it's the easiest way for him to make it very clear to the crowd that he is just a face now.
Yeah, for sure. By being a baby face with a baby face.
Yes, like literally looking like a baby face. He also looked like he de-aged, like.
Yes, he looks much younger.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even have that much facial hair to begin with.
No, he's very much in like my camp where it's like, no, this is all you're getting, so good luck. But,
so
yeah,
that
no,
was that
he
show.
He literally looked like he was like below 30 again. Like he's 35, but he like looked like he was like
25.
Late 20s. Yeah, he looked like 25.
Yeah, for sure. And then so we move on to Sunny Voyage 2023 on May 21st in Kobe Sambo Hall. 891 fans. No vacancy. That's not bad actually for Kobe Sambo Hall.
Yeah. No. I mean, obviously they put like a title match on there, but I think it's actually outdrawing what they've done there previously. And I think it's also, I mean, obviously Dragon Gate only ever runs like house shows there. But...
Right, because the Dragons are like 300, 400, 500.
Yeah, exactly. So
New Japan has done like 1,200 not that long ago there.
Yeah.
So I think it's decent for an outside Tokyo Noah show, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. So, no, I think this is a good number.
First match, Hajime Ohara and Hiroki defeated Alejandro and Super Crazy in 8 minutes and 5 seconds with the Muy Bien from Ohara on Alejandro. Muy Bien, my Spanish is horrible. Yeah, this is just an opening match. There's nothing to it. And then Hayata, Dragonbane, and Lancelot defeated Dante Leon, Extreme Tiger, and Alpha Wolf in 11 minutes and 14 seconds with the Kula del Dragon from Bane on Wolf. Brother pins brother. I mean, these lucha matches are getting repetitive, but they've hit the spot.
Yeah, no, I mean, they are fun, but as you said, it's like the same guys doing kind of the same things every single time. But I mean, they're cool to look at, and I mean, I get that it's probably better for like the live crowd because they haven't seen it yet, maybe. But
yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's fine for a touring show.
Yeah, exactly. And this was just this was just like an upgraded house show essentially.
Yeah, Kazuyuki Fujita, Kendo Kashin, Masato Tanaka, and Dave the Clown
defeated the actual main event.
Yes, defeated Masa Kitamiya, Daiki Inaba, Yoshiki Inamura, and Shuhei Taniguchi in 14 minutes and 5 seconds when Dave used the package pile driver on Inaba. I didn't think this match was that good from a technical standpoint, but I had fun watching Dave the Clown and Noah.
Yes, Dave the Clown rules as well. Like I think he also like, because I don't think he's ever had a match in Japan before. Like I can't remember if he did. Let me take a look, because I am
Let's
pretty sure
see.
he's like exclusively Mexico before this. Yeah, like I don't think he's ever had a match in Japan before. So like for his very first match in Japan, he did really, really well. Like he was just immediately like, okay, this is what's gonna get me over with this crowd. I'm just gonna chop people really hard,
Yeah.
and it works. So no, I think Dave the Clown rules, and he is now officially the global honored clown.
He is indeed. No, he's only wrestled in Mexico and the States.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it is kind of a random grab bag of just clowns that they bring, of a random grab bag of foreigners that they bring in. But I think sometimes they just really hit, and I think bringing in Dave is really good. But I'm also hoping that this now opens the door for more clowns, especially Psycho Clown, to come in, and we're gonna have more like. I mean, hey, I mean, if you want to do it, you can like fuse them with like the good-looking guys, and you have like the good-looking clowns.
Paul, did you see who tweeted at Dave the Clown and Nosawa?
Yes, 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 yes. I mean, talking about who should beat Jake Lee. Now, that is the actual person that should beat Jake Lee, and because that is none other than Negro Casas.
I think Casas is angling for a Japan booking.
Yes, he very much is. And
First of all,
all
it's
in
been
favor of that.
how many years has it been since New Japan booked Negro Casas? Actually, because he was a regular there.
Yeah, but I mean,
he's old.
He had to have had like some Fantastica Mania. I think probably was like his last. Like, let's take a quick look. Oh, it was 2022, but oh no, that was in California though. That doesn't count.
He was on Fantastica Mania in 2020.
Oh yeah, he was on the 2020 Fantastica Mania. Okay, so that.
But they won't book him. They won't book him now that he's left CML and gone to AAA.
Exactly. So makes sense for him to go to Noah instead.
And Nosawa can't say no to Negro Casas.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. If he's booking Lancelot, he absolutely needs to book Negro Casas. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here otherwise? Like, you're bringing in Daga, you're bringing in like Extreme Tiger, but you're not bringing in Negro Casas. Like, it's just actually delusion if you don't do that. And look, and I know that everyone is talking about like Noah only books old people, blah 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 blah, and like only pushes the old guys, and that is true. But look, like, come on. Like, I talked Timothy Thatcher and Suzuki having a tag title reign. So the next thing I'm going to talk into existence is a Negro Casas GHC heavyweight title reign.
Oh, I would. Well,
I've already got the finish booked out. Lee is
he
going
should
for
be Hayata for the
kick,
junior
and then
title.
he gets rolled up in a casita and pinned for the 1-2-3, and then Casas the champion.
I'd be satisfied with just him squashing Hayata.
Oh god, yeah, that would be amazing as well. It's just the bell rings and like immediately gets rolled up 1-2-3 in like 10 seconds. And you know what? And because it's Casas as well, like it doesn't matter. Like he can just lose the belt real quickly, and then if you want to have Hayata have his heat back, you do like a hair versus hair match because Casas doesn't care.
Yeah, that's funny.
So yeah, no, Nosawa, like pick up the phone, like get this guy into Mexico on like ASAP.
For sure. Yoshinari, and then next up, Yoshinari Ogawa, Chris Ridgway, and Sean Legacy defeated Kaito Kiyomiya Asuka and Junta Miyawaki in 14 minutes and 28 seconds when Legacy pinned, you guessed it, Miyawaki.
Yep.
Okay, but to be honest, I thought this was a fun little match.
Yeah,
and Legacy continues to impress.
Exactly, and it's also, I think, it's less bad if he like gets pinned by like a heavyweight. So, but it's technically a heavyweight. I mean, we just assume he is, but like, I mean, you can't make this guy a junior. That would be even weirder than Takano being a junior.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you could do something with Legacy for sure.
But yeah, the weirdness of the Miyawaki booking just continues of him just being a jobber.
Mm-hmm. And the next up, Daga beat Ada in 8 minutes with the Diablo wings.
I mean, technically he did. Yeah, that's what happened.
I mean, it was fine. But
there was also non-stop interference in this match as well.
Yes.
Because yes, technically Daga like used the Diablo wings on Ada, but it was after like basically Ogawa just held him in place.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. But you do what you know. It is what it is.
I mean, this has to lead to like a hair versus hair match, right? Or like something.
It
Can't have
should.
us go through all of this and maybe it just kind of ends, just peters out. But there's just so much heat they're building up here that like you have to do some sort of like Wrestlers match or like a cage match or something.
Mm-hmm. Or Hayata will just turn on Ogawa.
Or
no.
Eita will turn on Hayata.
Sorry, Eita will turn on Hayata. That's what I meant.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was trying to mean.
Eita will turn on Hayata, Daga will turn on Ogawa, and then Daga and Eita are back together because why not?
Sure. And then next up, Go Shiozaki and Katsuhiko Nakajima defeated Masakatsu Funaki and Shuji Kondo in 11 minutes and 5 seconds with the Goen Lariat from Shiozaki on Kondo. I like this, actually, and I like Funaki and Go like going at each other and everything. Like Go had like a bloody chest and everything at the end of this.
Oh yeah, Funaki seemed motivated in this match, which he rarely is in these tag matches.
Yeah.
And also, did you see Funaki and Nakajima go at each other after the match?
Mm-hmm.
So they're continuing that, like, Nakajima left Kongo, so Kongo is, like, out for blood on Nakajima currently.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's a good feud for now.
Mm-hmm.
For Axis and everything like that. But the thing is, like, it's sort of weird, though, because, like, Keno's also, like, got the multiple tag titles. So that's sort of, like, keeping him from doing other stuff. Well, they got that match coming up, I should say.
I mean, technically, they pinned one half of the Open the Dreamgate champions.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
I don't think they're gonna get a shot for those belts. That would be even weirder.
No, that would be. Well, would it draw?
Yeah, probably. Depends where you do it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
But Shiozaki and Nakajima as, like, Open the Dreamgate champions is just a very bizarre, like, thought.
Mm-hmm. And then we go to Jake Lee. Good-looking guys. Jake Lee, Anthony Green, Johan Tadasuke defeated Naomichi Marufuji, Takashi Sugera, Atsushi Kotoge, and Seki Yoshioka when Yohei used the dropkick on Yoshioka. Again, another solid, Noah upper card 6 or 8 man tag match, setting up the I don't know. Segura might have gotten me into the most interested I am into a Jake Lee title match in Noah so far.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I think they've been doing a pretty decent job of like doing the build. Yeah, no, I am actually looking forward to the junior tag title match as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think actually Kotoge and Yoshioka is actually one of the better teams that they have in that division.
Oh, absolutely. They'll have a good match with them.
Yeah.
And then in the main event for the All Japan World Tag Team Championship, Keno and Manu Busoya defeated Suwama and Kono in 21 minutes and 12 seconds with a jumping DDT from Soya on Kono. So, look, the match was okay. I would say actually the main event of the Korakuen show was slightly better.
Mm-hmm.
But the sheer amount of heat that Keno and Suwama generate as like Keno the face and Suwama the outsider heel, that's pretty great, honestly.
Yeah.
That's what actually made this match.
Trash bag over Keno again.
if this match didn't have that heat, it would definitely have come across a lot worse.
Yeah, no, that's what I remember as well. Was like I was like, this match is fine. I don't think it's great, but it definitely is helpful. Like that crowd was really into it. I don't think you can deny that.
Yeah, and it helped it and everything like that.
Yes.
And so we now come, like, Suwama's angry. We come full circle. And he was talking, and Suwama was talking about, you had a Noah referee. Well, now Wada's going to count properly or something like that.
Maybe that is the new leader of Voodoo Murderers.
Maybe. Kohei Wada?
Yeah. That's why Suwama never hit him with that chair. He always threatens to hit him with that chair, and he almost always never does it because he is the higher power. It was me, Kento. It was me all along.
Yeah. And so that's that. Upcoming shows, May 28th, it's in Niigata at the Bandejima Multipurpose Plaza. The only match of note on the show is Go Shiozaki and Kazuhiko Nakajima versus Kaito Kiyomi and Daiki Inaba. And I think you could figure out what the result there is.
Yeah. That's very clear as well.
And then on May 31st at Shinjuku Face, sort of strange, but I think they've all sold it out.
Yeah.
Or come
Which,
close to
I
it.
mean, if you put that kind of match on there, you better sell Shinjuku Face.
Yeah. Keno versus Katsuhiko Nakajima. Paul, who do you think wins?
I would say Nakajima would make a lot of sense.
Yep.
Because you kind of want to keep the story going where it's like Go is still kind of like the weak part of Axis, and Nakajima just shows that like he was right in like leaving Congo. And I think Keno like can eat a loss as well.
Yep. Because
He's been doing he's been doing a lot of winning, and Nakajima also just lost like against Jake, so I think he kind of like needs a singles win more.
Yep. And then the GHC junior heavyweight tag team title match, Yohan Tadasuke versus Atsushi Kotoge and Seki Yoshioka, which should be really good.
Yeah.
And then also June 17th is Sugiura versus Lee in Nagoya. And then on we already have a match for the N1 final show, Paul.
Yeah.
Josh Barnett versus Masakatsu Funaki.
Well, I guess
September 3rd,
we definitely know that Funaki isn't going to be in the N1.
Well, that's that's good.
Good.
I think
that's good.
That's
yeah,
good.
I also don't think
good.
Funaki wants to do that.
But Paul, let me ask you. This got me thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Is there going to be an All Japan wrestler in the N1?
Because there's enough spots available. I mean, Soya was in the N1, so I think it's only fair.
In the Champion Carnival.
In the Champion Carnival, yes. So I think it's only fair to put All Japan wrestler in the N1.
Well, let me ask you this, Paul. Do you send a Ryuki Honda or a Yuma Anzai, or do you send a top name?
I mean, I would be trying to think who would be like the equivalent of Manabu Soya on the All Japan roster. Suwama, kind of. I mean, technically it would be Ashino. I don't think he's gonna do that.
No. Well, it's funny you bring up Suwama because I think you should send Suwama.
Yeah, because you have like a built-in match with him and Keno and everything.
He's a name, and he can eat losses.
Yeah, and
he'll finish with he'll finish with a winning record too.
Yeah, so I think that actually would make sense. Like, obviously, it would be like amazing if they sent like a Kento or like a Yuma, but that gets like difficult.
Politically,
like, who can he lose to and everything. Whereas with Suwama, it's just like, yeah, he can lose.
I mean, I don't think it's even the worst idea doing a Keno versus Suwama final.
Or you think Keno's winning the N1? I mean, obviously he is because he got put in the trash bag of winning. But
well, I mean, I feel like it's either him or Go are really the only ones.
Yeah, and Go is an attack.
And I feel like this Axis thing is going to take up more time.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it would be very weird to have a Suwama versus Keno N1 final, but I could definitely see that as like, I mean, at the very least, like if it is going to be Suwama, then and they don't do it as a final, then I think they're definitely going to be in the same block at the very least.
Yeah.
Because you do want like, but in that case, like because like Suwama is gonna be doing a lot of losing to Keno right now, so
yeah.
Like, would that be something where like they put them in the same block and then like I don't know, someone else goes to the final and Suwama like spoils Keno like in the like on the final block night?
Yeah,
it's also,
that's
like,
actually not a bad.
Suwama is going to be a different character by then as well. It's not going to be this
true
Suwama.
Too. Right. Even though I sort of want this Keno versus Suwama thing to continue.
Yeah. But like Keno is also like someone where like right now he's very clearly the baby face, but he can also like turn that on a dime where he's the heel now.
Yeah, for sure.
Which again, that's still kind of what Congo is. Like Congo is still like the heel is leaning Trinas, really.
Yeah, definitely. So Keno can play any role, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't think you can. I don't know. I just feel like Keno is so hot right now. It feels like so.
Yeah.
Why not have him win the N1 again?
Like we're gonna look back at this. Like whenever like we're looking back at like Keno's career, like this is gonna be very easily identifiable as like this was his peak. Or is his peak? Like he's still in it. Like
yeah, I think it'll last a while.
Yeah.
So that's Pro Wrestling Noah. But wait, there's more, Paul.
Ooh.
We have something else to talk about.
Oh yeah.
The King of DDT final. Well, not the whole show.
No. Because I think wait, let me see if I can find exactly what I wrote to you when I watched this show. Or when I started watching this show. So I basically asked you You said also I watched the King of DDT semis and finals, and then my next one was just those two or the whole show, and you were just the tournament matches. To which I then responded, okay, so I can keep pressing forward on this pheromones match because I had no interest in watching that.
So that was on May 21st in Cork Hall in front of only 677 fans. DDT has not been doing good.
No.
Drawing lately. Corkin or anywhere really.
No, it's been a while as well, like that they've just kind of drawn horribly. Actually, recently, because actually it's another thing where like I'm gonna like resubscribe to Big Japan Core because they've actually fixed the upload schedules.
Oh, have they? Okay.
Yeah, so I actually looked at like the two shows they had after the big Yokohama show, and one of the shows is just like it was in Osaka, but it was in like one of the smaller venues in Osaka, and like really like Dragon Gate those like random house shows in there, and the other promotion that runs there is DDT, and like Big Japan drew like 200 people in there, which already wasn't like a super great number, but like DDT runs that venue and they draw like 120 people.
Oof.
Which is bad.
I mean, they always had problems outside of Tokyo.
Yeah, but like
they can't even draw in Tokyo.
Yeah. No, like they're the promotion that is by far hurt the most by Korakuen Hall being burned out, because that was always like what they could rely on, and they can't anymore.
Okay, so before we go into the tournament matches, did you want to watch? I didn't watch the Extreme title match. Did you?
Yeah, I did watch the Extreme title match.
How was it?
I thought it was a pretty good. Like it was kind of unfortunate, so because the main thing coming out of that was Shunma Katsumata broke his ankle. And it was a really good, and it like he injured his ankle in the match, and it's very obvious when it happened. Like it's not graphic, so if you want to go and watch it, like you're not gonna see like his foot like being like turned like the wrong way or whatever. Like that's not what happened. But it's very clear. Like once you know that he's injured, basically there's like a table set up like between the ring and the barricade, and like Shunma like is going for like a springboard move on Okatani, and Okatani like shoves him to the outside, and like Shunma goes for the table, and it was very clearly a planned spot, but Shunma like goes through the table feet first, and then he like comes up crawling, and he like crawls into the ring, and he like tries to like stand up, put weight on his foot, and he can't, and he like goes back down, and then like Okatani comes in the ring, and like immediately like Shunma like rolls him up for like the 1-2-3. Like it was an incredibly weird finish, because it was actually a good match up until that point. And then once Shunma got in, like it came out that he was injured, like it made sense why they did that. Like it was basically like the finish where like after like Owen Hart broke, like after the injury happened with Austin and Owen Hart, where Austin broke his neck, and then he like rolled up Owen Hart afterwards to win the match. And this was kind of similar, where like Shunma was very clearly injured and couldn't continue, so they just like did the roll up finish to end the match the way they wanted to. But yeah, Shunma had to like vacate the title now, and yeah, it's a bit of a shame. And like a broken ankle, that's also like that can take a really long time if you're unlucky.
Also had to vacate the tag titles.
Yeah, tag titles too. So it just really comes at like the wrong time. I think he was really like
Shun Mao was having a good year as a tag team.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and he was really like someone that was like hitting his strides. I think he's either like just 30 or like below 30, so he's really like a guy that is like coming into his own right now. So it's really unfortunate timing, but yeah, these things happen.
Maybe Mao can step up in his absence or something.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been waiting for that for like how long
now? So the okay, we'll say this. I guess other news: Saki Akai is retiring.
Yeah, that's a shame.
She's gotten really good, I thought.
Yeah.
Too.
No. I mean, she's kind of done everything I assumed she would realistically do, but I don't know. I would have just hoped that she just sticks around because I think she's really entertaining.
Yeah, but she never got a Princess of Princess title run, did she?
No, I mean, she's really only had like 2 matches in Tokidoshi Pro.
Oh, that's right. When she was the tag team title champion with
do you want to be
Yuki
trash, Gerard?
No. Of course not.
This isn't even a demasking, really, but yeah, kind of. It's breaking kayfabe.
Do you think there'll be any more Saki Saba matches in Tokyo Joshi?
Yeah. I am actually curious if they're gonna stick to kayfabe where like Saki-sama also announces her retirement, or if they're just kind of like she's just gonna move on. But yeah, no, it is a shame, and it is kind of a big hit for like I think it is a hit for DDT definitely because she was just such a like prominent part of the roster, even though she wasn't really like pushed super strongly.
But they had her in feature matches on big shows.
Exactly.
Like, remember all the stuff they did? What was the match? It was Saki Akai and Akiyama versus Asuka and was it Hino?
Yeah, I think so.
And they did all that hype for that match.
And she has really good chemistry with Brooks. So, like, Brooks is probably gonna win that title. So that actually is something you could have actually run as a title challenge.
Yep. So that's unfortunate, but I saw a friend of the show, Avelki brought up a good point. Now that the crowd cheerings are back, you're probably going to see a bunch of retirements.
Yeah. Also, retirements draw.
They draw.
So they're probably going to like spread them out, but yeah, I also wouldn't be surprised if, for example, like especially in DDT, there's like a few guys there that have been like with DDT since the beginning that are probably like wanting to like wrap stuff up now.
Yeah. Well, we already saw like Himeka retiring.
Yeah.
In Stardom, and I assume I think Tenzan will be done by early next year.
Yeah, I think Tenzan is done. I think Senshiro Takagi, I think if he just wants to like, because he just has a lot of shit to do as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if he like retires. Then.
So I think there's a retire. There'll be
Shuji
retirements.
Ishikawa actually is another one I think that is like a stealth candidate for that. Shuji Ishikawa.
You think so, eh?
I mean, he looks like he's hurting a lot, and I don't know if he just wants to keep.
He's still in pretty good shape physically.
He is, but
like he got into better shape as his body, like his as his joints and bones probably have like declined. He got like his outside into better shape.
I mean, it's probably also because like that helps with like that weight as well, because he doesn't have to carry all that fat around anymore. But so, I do agree that they were probably going to see like an increase in like retirements going forward.
So to the tournament itself, I didn't watch any of the other tournament matches. Did you? Other than the ones on this show?
No.
I heard, what was it? There's one in the first round, Higuchi versus Yusuke Okada. I should go back and watch that.
Actually, that probably would be like right up.
I heard that was good. But surprise. Okay, Okada, like what is Okada doing in this company?
Being a jobber.
He's barely anywhere ahead than he was in All Japan before he started getting jobbed out.
Than he was in All Japan. Because like really the only way you can argue that he's better off than he was in All Japan is because he got a shot at the like Universal title, but he got that like immediately upon entering, and then he hasn't done anything since then.
Nope.
Like I think at the very least in All Japan there would have been like a chance, like I don't know, for him to like do something. He's just doing actually nothing.
If he had waited and Tajiri had left, he'd be in a lot better shape.
Yeah, he'd probably be in like the like new home army and everything, and like I don't know if he would be like a strongly pushed guy, and I would they have made him
I would have made him a junior champion. I would have made him a junior champion.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely would have given him a shot at the title. Like I would still make Atsuki like the ace of that division, but like he's definitely a guy like you can put the title on and everything.
Yeah, definitely. So it's just frustrating because I had such high hopes. But anyway, to the tournament itself finally. Semifinal, Kazusada Higuchi defeated Yuki Ueno in 10 minutes and 57 seconds with a brain claw slam. This was, I thought this was just a smidge below the main event. It wasn't as dramatic, but it was like them just throwing bombs at each other right out of the gate. Like Higuchi using his power and Ueno using his like speed and technique. It was just great.
Yeah. I really liked the final one, so I don't think this one got really close to that, because I think this one was like a little bit too short. Like they got 10 minutes, but I feel like they could have done more as well. But yeah, no, I think the structure that they did do was really good, where like Ueno just constantly like avoided Higuchi, and he just made Higuchi like seem like a killer as well, because he was like really quick to like trying to get all out of like Higuchi stuff, and then Higuchi just annihilated him at the end.
Yeah, Ueno took some crazy bumps and stuff to put it all over. And then next up, Chris Brooks defeated Jun Akiyama in 11 minutes and 20 seconds. Fair to say that this is the biggest win of Brooks' career. He beat him with the praying mantis bomb. I don't think it was as good as the first semifinal, but it's still good. And Akiyama was playing the old surly man because he attacked Brooks before the bell, threw him out of the ring and everything like that, roughed him up. But and like Brooks like kicked out of a bunch of stuff before putting him away and everything like that.
Yeah. No, I also liked the first semifinal more, but again, I thought this was still a good match, and I liked the structure because, as you said, like Akiyama was just like the grumpy dude where he's like, no, prove yourself to me, essentially.
Yeah,
like this
exactly.
was like a thing where like Brooks had to like prove that he can do it. He had to like overcome like, I mean, a literal like all-time legend of wrestling to get to the final, and he managed to actually do it. And that crowd was like hot for him as well. Like they wanted him to win this.
Mm-hmm. And before we go to the final, I forgot to note on this show, Okada was in the Zero match.
Yeah, he was in
the dark match.
Aforementioned Pheromones match that I fast forward on.
Just to put things into perspective.
Yeah.
And then the final, Chris Brooks defeated Kazusada Higuchi in 24 minutes and 28 seconds with a ground octopus stretch. This was wrestled like a big, like a Higuchi match. Like this is a big dramatic, like, main event in Japan style. The drama, the brutality with the headbutts. Like how hard Brooks was getting thrown into those barriers at Korakuen by Higuchi was like, that was more than just your regular throw into the barriers. He was just tossing him in there so hard and everything like that. And, Brooks survived a lot. And then when Higuchi was going for a running lariat from across the ring, Brooks caught him in the ground the ground octopus stretch. So it was a bit of like, I don't want to say the finish came out of nowhere, but it sort of did at the same time. But I don't think that was necessarily a bad thing. Because it was like Brooks using his like wile against like the power of Higuchi and everything like that. So like the crowd was into it, and it was probably the right move. And it's obviously it's time to get that title off, the KOD title off of Hino.
I love Hino, but he's not a champion.
No,
especially not a long-term one. But yeah, no, I actually love this match. I actually went 4.5 stars on this. I thought this was really, really good. Yeah, as I said, like it really felt like basically like the way they played this. Yeah, like the finish came out of nowhere, but it made sense because it's essentially Brooks survived Higuchi essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what this felt like. Higuchi just dominated this match, and he just like Brooks just like barely managed to like cling onto life throughout like the entire match. Like he got his hope spots and everything, but like this was like a Higuchi match. And I also have to say, like Higuchi looks even more scary with the shaved head.
Yes. Oh yeah.
He already was scary before, but he looks like an absolute complete psychopath with the shaved head.
For sure. Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Like he actually has, psychopath. Like I would actually.
Do you know how long he? Yeah. Do you know how long ago he shaved that head? Because I haven't been watching DDT lately.
I don't know if I think he shaved it after he lost the title. I'm not.
He would have.
Exactly remember the timeline.
I'm pretty sure he would have.
Yeah, but he feels like a serial killer. Like he's basically like it's like he's just like this like incredibly just unstoppable force essentially. Where like you don't really beat him. You just kind of like you get lucky essentially. Like it's literally like it's like the old Taz phrase where it's just like survive if I let you, essentially.
Beat me if you can, survive if I let you.
Yeah. Like that's what this feels like. So no, he just is just like this unstoppable monster, and then Brooks had to like figure out a way how to deal with that. And he did manage to find a way where he was like, okay, I can like if I can get him like into this hole, I know I can like tap him out. And he did. So no, I thought this was really good.
I think it's probably the right time to go with Brooks because of, he's been there so long and he's built up a following and business is what it is. But I don't know what Higuchi's future holds, and that's also not great.
No. But Hino to me is also like someone, Higuchi is to me is someone that I'm always like, he would just fit in so much better in Noah.
Yeah.
Like just style-wise and everything. And I get that they don't really do that, but like, I don't know. I would let them do it. I mean, it's not like yeah.
Do you like? I know that I don't think DDT looks at attendances like the way that other companies do, but I still feel like Higuchi has been punished in some. It's just something in my gut tells me I have no proof, But Higuchi still got punished for not like helping put butts in
And that's
seats.
why he had to shave his head.
Well, no. But do you know what I mean? Like, okay, so we went with the serious guy and he didn't do anything. So let's go with another like wacky guy like Brooks.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But yeah, I mean, I kind of don't blame them because it's just like I think they're very much in like let's just throw shit against the wall and see what sticks kind of like
Sure.
situation.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not like because what else can they really do? Like really the only other thing they can do is like Endo, but they're still like that's like a long-term thing where like they need to rebuild Endo after he got knocked out by Nakajima.
That is a definite long-term thing.
Like that just like fucked them over. Like it fucked them over so much more than I even thought it would. Because at the time I thought that like it's gonna do damage from DDT, but I thought that they would recover from that like relatively quickly, but they still haven't.
No, they
And
haven't.
obviously, like Takeshita leaving for America doesn't help.
Well, that didn't help either.
Yeah.
But it didn't help that, you know, Endo finally beating Takeshita for the KOD title.
I mean, to be fair, he kind of bombed in that first title defense against Ueno in Yokohama. So like they were already kind of struggling then, but I think they're struggling even more now.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. I mean, you know.
And actually, just something as well that I just recently thought about again as well, because I was like, oh yeah, because Yuji Hino is like the KOD title, like or the KOD champ. But did we ever find out if anything like happened while he was in All Japan, or if that was always just supposed to be the short like run that he had there?
Sorry, who?
Hino.
When was Hino in All Japan?
He was in 2018. Remember, he had that great run in the Champion Carnival.
Yes, in the Champion Carnival.
And then he made it to the semifinals of the Royal Road as well.
Right. And then he ended up in 0-1.
Yeah, because he basically had like a 6-month run in like All Japan, and then he never went back.
Well, if he has beef, it would probably be with Akiyama, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but obviously he doesn't because Akiyama, like he's the champion in DDT.
Well, it's sort of interesting that All Japan could not give him something regular. 0-1 did for a while before he left.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it was just a very because I just remember because that run was so good. That like Ada 2018 Carnival was great, but he was like a standout. Like that match he had with with Shingo, that's like still one of my like favorite like recent-ish like Carnival matches, excluding finals.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
That was just absolute top tier stuff. And then I was like, oh yeah, okay, this is like he's a guy now in All Japan. And then he stuck around and he had like a good run in the Royal Road, and then that was it basically. He hasn't had a single match in All Japan. And he's like a guy that bounces around like everywhere.
Is he signed to DDT? I think
he's signed now to DDT, yeah.
Okay.
Well, Cage Match still has him as a freelancer, but I don't know.
I think I don't know. Because he whatever, 0-1, like, had that exodus.
Yeah. No, he's definitely not signed there anymore.
No, he left before some of those other guys, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he was like one of the first ones to leave. Yeah, because I think, so he's been like a regular. Yeah. No, I mean, but yeah, it was just like, and then he popped up in Noah right after, where they did the Hooligans run. But that, like, he was pushed really strongly.
No, that was before.
And then he just left as well. No. The Hooligans thing was after the All Japan run.
Oh, right. I mean, before 0-1.
Yeah, before 0-1. Yeah, but like it was basically like he goes straight from like All Japan to like Noah, and again at that time that's not an upgrade. Like we're talking about like 2018 Noah here.
Yeah, definitely bigger in 2018 than Noah.
And then they form Hooligans, and then that kind of goes nowhere, and then he like leaves as well. Yeah, just a very weird career.
Yep. K Dojo trainee.
Yeah, that's also like Cody Hall era of Noah. Like that's rough. Yeah, no, he has a really interesting career because he's just like in K Dojo like forever, and then he goes to Wrestle One, and then he has that All Japan run, and he goes to 0-1 and Noah, and then DDT. Like, yeah, fascinating person. Not a top guy champion, but like always entertaining whenever you see him.
Oh yeah, he's a challenger. He's a tag team champion.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not love him? He's like a just massive slab of meat with a gigantic outie belly button.
Whose finisher the outie belly button makes it.
Yeah, his finisher is the fucking bomb, and his theme is called Evil Flame. Like, there's literally no element of him that isn't cool.
Yeah. So, but I think I'm curious what happens, what he does after he loses. Is he gonna move on or?
I mean, that's kind of been the like pattern with him, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was in DDT too, like before,
Oh,
because you said he went to
yeah,
Wrestle One.
yeah. No, but he did go to Wrestle One.
Well, yeah, but I mean, wasn't his first post K Dojo thing DDT?
Yeah, he did have like an original DDT run, but I don't know how long that one actually went.
Because what didn't he win the KOD title then too?
Let's take a look. Oh Jesus, yes. Oh yeah, okay. And so he's. Oh my God, he has won so many titles. Holy shit. Yeah, he is actually a two-time KOD champion. Yeah. And the first time he won it was in 2012. So yeah, he did have
Yeah.
that. Okay, so just to quickly finish off, I'm just going to list off all of the titles that he has won because it's so many. So obviously, like his first title was like he was like strongest K tag champion, and he won the singles champion. He won like those belts like a couple more times, and then he has his like DDT run where he gets like the KOD tag champion, and he's like immediately like wins that title a bunch of times. Then he wins like the KOD open weight, and like again a bunch of like 6-man tag team champions. He was the King of Freedom World Champion. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wins the Wrestle One Championship. He was a Kyushu Pro Tag Team Champion apparently. He wins the NWA Intercontinental Tag Team Championship with Masato Tanaka. He has a 47-day title reign as GHC Tag Champion with Taniguchi.
Oh,
Then he
yeah,
has
yeah.
he has that 0-1 World Heavyweight Championship. I think that's still like probably one of the more like memorable singles title reigns. Apparently he held the Kyushu Pro Championship for 508 days. And then yeah, like a bunch more tag team champions, and then like the KOD like second reign now, which I don't know if that was a really good reign. Like it was surprising when he beat Higuchi in the first place, and like I haven't really heard much buzz about like his title defenses since then.
Not at all. So
yeah, fascinating man.
Yeah, because
incredibly weird career.
That 0-1 world title reign, he has that match against Okabayashi.
Yeah, no, that was really good. He also has that 2019 match at Sumo Hall with Big Japan, where it's him and Okabayashi versus Sekimoto and Walter.
Oh, that's right, yes.
Which is also an amazing tag match as well.
And Walter was the WWE UK champion in that match.
Was he actually already? Did he? Yeah, right. That was 2019.
Yeah,
so he had to have already.
Sekimoto had pointed at the belt.
Oh yeah, God, that would have been something.
Because that's when the rumors that Sekimoto was going to be a trainer for NXT Japan or whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh God, I'm happy we don't live in that world. I mean, maybe the trade-off for that is Corona happened, but like, yeah. And I think that's also like the last time that like Big Japan ran like Sumo Hall, right? I don't think they've gone back there since then.
I don't believe so.
Yeah,
no.
Fascinating career. Like it's like if you actually go back and like look at like all of the stuff that he's been in, it's like, oh yeah, right, he did that. I forgot about that.
Well, it's nice to like. I like those journeymen are cool though.
Yeah, no, and I do like that Japan still has them. Like it's a shame that like the US kind of like it got killed by Vince. So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, on that topic, well, we're like just quickly plugging something. Everyone, if you haven't listened to it, you should listen to the currently ongoing Behind the Bastard series on Vince McMahon. Like it's a podcast I really love anyway, and they're currently doing like a 6-part series on like basically going for like all of the stuff that Vince has done, and really entertaining. Like you're probably gonna be familiar with like most of the stuff they're talking about there, but it's always like kind of crazy to like have it all like laid out.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to listen, but I want to.
Yeah, I mean they just released like the 3rd part, and yeah, it's really good.
All right. So next time we come back, we will find out what happens in All Japan, because I think some things are getting set up and everything like that. So we'll have a lot to talk about.
And so maybe because there's also going to be a Big Japan Korakuen. So if there's anything noteworthy coming out of it, maybe we'll talk about that too. But that depends on what they do.
For sure. All right then. For Paul Vosh, I'm Gerard Detroit, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
Do you like wrestling trivia? Then check out the 5-Star Match Game, the Pro Wrestling Quiz Show. I'm Joe Gagney. In every episode, I grill 3 contestants with 5 rounds of power-packed wrestling trivia. We have over 30 evergreen episodes in the archives covering WWE, AEW, Japan, Mexico, and much, 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 much more. Play along at home and check it out today.
Hola, hola, my name is Ricardo. I am the host of the Lucha Jovers podcast here in the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. We are a Spanish-speaking show dedicated to discussing and analyzing pro wrestling from all across the world. From AW to CMLL, we talk about American wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and of course, Lucha Libre. If something big happened in the pro wrestling world, we will talk about it. So if you know Spanish or have a friend that knows Spanish or want to practice your Lucha Libre pronunciations, go listen to the Lucha Jovers podcast right here in the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. Nos vemos por ahí.